Now we're continuing to follow that breaking news out of Jersey City. There's been a shooting, and we can confirm that one police officer has been injured. We do not know that officer's condition right now. Take a look at this live picture. You see the Hudson County Sheriff's Office is there. SWAT team members are there. There are multiple locations where this occurred, including the area of Martin Luther King Drive and Bayview Avenue. We're told schools in the area have been put on lockdown. We have confirmed, though, that students and staff in those schools are safe. As you can see with this shot, a number of agencies are on the scene right now as we are gathering more information. We also know that police are looking for two shooters, one man and one woman. Now, the New Jersey State PBA has tweeted out a request for prayers right now for Jersey City officers. We are trying to gather more information. There's a lot that we don't know. We don't know the circumstances that led up to this situation where one officer was shot. But as you can see, they are getting help from agencies all across the area. This is a shot of the Hudson County Sheriff's Department. You see SWAT officers there. The photographer is panning, showing that it's Martin Luther King and Wilkinson Avenue. Folks are being told to stay away from that area. This is still very much of an active scene. You see it's a very residential community. You see the homes right by a church. Maybe that's, I don't know if it's a park or somebody's front yard on the other side. Dick Brennan is here.
Yeah, we're just observing the scene, and this is what appears to be quite a large crime scene that has been developing, because police apparently are not sure of the whereabouts of the two shooters. Now, we're showing you pretty much a staggering picture. We showed you the street a few seconds ago of a single Sheriff's Department truck, in part because we don't want to give away the locations of these officers if, in fact, some of the shooters might be able to have access to our feed. But we can tell right now that it appears that this may be a multi-agency task force, because it seems that if these shooters got away, and they did, and their whereabouts are unknown, the search could go wide. Now, you just pointed out, Aundrea, this is a residential street, so obviously it's in the best interest, and we gave those street names before, Wilkinson and Martin Luther King Drive, for people in that area to what I would imagine stay in place. This is another piece of video, and just more police cars and patrol cars on the street, and some activity of police officers. But as of now, the question is, who are the shooters? Do the police know who the shooters are? Did they get a look at them? Are they looking at crime scene tape right now? Perhaps they have pictures. Perhaps they've been able to trace these two, or perhaps they haven't. And these are all the challenges that these various agencies, I'm sure, right now are facing.
And we do have a phoner with Brian Clark, who was near the scene. Brian, can you hear us?
I'm an Uber driver, so I was dropping off a customer. I dropped them off, and I was on the one-way street. And I got caught in a one-way street with a bunch of cars, and I was wondering why nobody was moving. And then all of a sudden, I heard it. All the shots started ringing out. And so when I heard it, I see people running. I got out of the car, and I see cops ducked down and cops getting out of the way, and I'm wondering why. What the hell? So I get out of my car, and I can see it, and I heard it, pow, 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 pow. Then I realized I was in a shootout. I've never heard that many shots in my life. It was like I was in a war zone.
Brian, what was your reaction? Did you jump back into the car? And for how long were the shots going on before you could actually at least look up or even get out of your car? Okay, we lost Brian on the phone there, but he's obviously describing quite an intense shooting situation. We didn't get to find out just how long that shootout was, but based on his reaction, it must have been an awfully intense scene for someone, an Uber driver, just to drive right into the middle of it.
Yeah, and he said that he has never, heard that many shots in his life. He's talking about how the cops were ducked down and so many shots were fired. Again, that was Brian Clark, a 61-year-old Uber driver who was near the scene. We're taking you back to a live picture of the scene right there. We have confirmed that the ATF is another agency that is responding to this incident here in Jersey City.
The other thing police officers on the scene probably have an idea of is what kind of weapons that these suspects were using. You can't always tell just by the pop of the gun. Sometimes if it's a light pop, it's a small 9mm kind of thing. Other times, if it's extremely loud, it certainly would be a long gun. And in the case of the officer who's been injured, obviously there are injuries there. We don't know the extent of those injuries. We're not sure whether or not the officer was wearing a vest. We hope indeed they were. But that officer is at the hospital right now, and we get more information on that officer, we'll certainly let you know about it.
And also what makes this very difficult, Dick, is just the geography of the area. When you have so many homes there, you've got backyards, there's a lot that they have to comb through to try to find these two suspects, a man and a woman. There are lots of places where they can be right now, so it makes it an even more sensitive situation and more dangerous, quite frankly.
You know, we're looking at these pictures and we're speculating as to what we're seeing because obviously we don't know the status of the investigation right now, whether there is someone in the immediate area where these officers may be facing. We can only judge by the fact that this officer in the sheriff's truck is pointing his long gun and he's sticking his head out. He appears to be training it on something. We really can't get a look at it. And you can see more officers at that Jersey City Police Department coming down the street. So obviously this is an area of intense interest. On the other hand, these officers aren't in an urgent pose, at least the three officers down here, and sometimes that gives you the indication that perhaps there's something not going on in the immediate area. Maybe that one officer is trying to be extra cautious, and now he's gone back in the truck. So apparently whatever was going on there, and there he goes up again. It's just a situation where we don't know where these two are. Presumably, the sheriffs have an idea where they are. You can see they're focusing down the street here on what's a live picture. Once again, we don't want to get too close or give away locations because we certainly don't want to put these Jersey City police officers in any kind of harm.
Right, but you see them in front of storefronts, guns drawn there as a search for the two suspects continue.